if you guys follow me on socials, you know that I share a lot of interior design tips. I do collaborations with brands. I'm a designer, and then I also share all about my installs, but it wasn't always like that. 2024 was a huge year for me. And so I thought today I would tell you about the goals I set and what actually happened, which is literally crazy to think about. I've never really told this story in depth, so I thought I'd share it here. So, a little bit of backstory. I used to be a teacher. I was a teacher for 7 years before I decided to start my interior design business. When I had my daughter in 2020, I was teaching from home, COVID, and I've always had a passion for interior design. Me and my husband bought a fixer-upper, designed it ourselves, remodeled it ourselves. I learned so much about the process, and so a lot of my friends started asking me if I would help them remodel their homes when everyone was refinancing in 2020. Everyone was pulling money out of their house, everyone was home, and it was like the time when everyone was remodeling, and a lot of people reached out to me and asked if I could help. And so I started with helping friends and family and realized how much I loved it, which is why I decided to launch my business in 2020. And I was teaching at the same time. That same year, I started a staging company because I thought that would be really safe. I would just have one set of inventory and then just do a couple jobs. It allowed me a lot of flexibility. It wasn't too much time. In 2021, I decided to really take it full on, and I quit teaching. And a huge goal for me was to be able to stay home with my daughter and be there with her and not miss any of the moments. I really hated the idea of working like a 7 to 4 job, and just not being with her after I'd been with her for a whole year at home. So staging interior design, business was booming, like I said, with the interest rates. But in 2023, my business slowed down a lot because interest rates went up, no one was selling, no one was buying, and no one was remodeling. And I had a lot of clients, I had some clients reaching out, but none of them really had a budget to do the type of design I wanted to do. And so the day before New Year's Eve, 2023, I got appendicitis, and it forced me to just sit down for 2 weeks. I couldn't really lift or move or do any type of anything. And I'm the type of person that loves to be doing things and be busy constantly. I hate not feeling productive, and I hate sitting still. And so instead of binge watching shows, I was like, I'm gonna make this time productive in a different way. I'm gonna be really intentional with my goal setting, and I'm gonna think a lot about what I want moving forward for the year. And so now I'm gonna show you guys what I wrote and what actually happened. So these are my goals. I wrote them out really nicely and I framed them, and they've been in my office for a whole year. And I'm gonna go through and tell you what I wrote and what actually happened. So personal, let's get personal because this is not really supposed to be about personal. It says morning routine, that didn't happen. It says daily smoothie, that didn't happen. It says daily gratitude, that didn't happen. It says maintain workouts, I love, that did happen, but that's not what this is focused on. This is more about my business and my passion. So business, number 1 was collaborations. In 2024, I got signed. So here's what happened in 2024. In July 2024, I got signed by a talent agency that connects me with brands to work with and has provided me a huge income, way more than I'm used to for just posting reels that I would typically do. But that didn't just happen. There's more backstory to that, but we'll get into that in a second. Next was creative styling projects I love. Definitely landed a lot more clients, and I'm gonna tell you why in a second. Number 3 was effortless money. Through LTK, I was able to make basically a salary just in commissions alone. And that money definitely feels effortless because I'm just posting links to things that I already have. And then it says Devil Wears Prada. And the reason I wrote that is because I wanted to feel I also have Kardashian vibes. I wanted to feel like I was in the mix of things, which I definitely feel like. So let me tell you how all these things happened. This goes into my next goal, which says TikTok shop. So I decided that I really wanted to take advantage of TikTok shop. I was gonna do TikTok with my sister, and we were just gonna sell things on TikTok shop and make all of our money that way. That didn't happen, but what did happen is I started posting a lot more on TikTok. I posted one reel where I was talking about things I liked from HomeGoods and things I didn't like from HomeGoods as a designer, and it went viral. From there, people started asking me, can you make a video on this? Can you make a video on this? And I was just talking to the camera. It seemed like a really easy way to make content. I wasn't like trying to think of creative new reel ideas or like copy other people. I was like, this is super straightforward. I'm just talking about, here's how to style your coffee table. Here's how to style an entryway. Here are paint colors I like. Just very, very educational type things, which came really natural to me because I was a teacher. And so I was used to like presenting this lesson. I was used to structuring lessons. What's your hook? How are you grabbing people? What's your content? What's your closing? And so it was very natural for me. And because no one I knew followed me on TikTok, I didn't feel embarrassed like here, like I'm telling you what to do. I didn't feel embarrassed about creating content. And so I started doing that on TikTok a lot. I got a lot of followers really quickly. Finally got an LTK, which I had been like applying for so long. So I got my LTK literally in April of 2024 because people were asking me for links on TikTok, and it was all really organic. It was like, people want links, they need a place to get the links. And then I kept up my content on TikTok because people kept just giving me ideas. Like, people in the comments would constantly be like, want a video on this, want a video on this, want a video on this. And it was so easy for me to just like do that. This is when my business had slowed down a lot, so I had the time to create the content, and it would be like, okay, I'm making this today, I'm making this today, and I just stayed really consistent. I posted every day on TikTok for months, and I was really, really consistent about this. Instagram, I still had like 3,000 followers on Instagram, and I wasn't posting any of that stuff over there because I thought, oh, this isn't like Instagram type content. But then after a while, I was like, I have all this content. It's such a waste not to post it on Instagram. So I took the ones that I really liked from TikTok that seemed to get really good engagement in TikTok, and I started posting them on Instagram. At first, they literally did terrible. It was like 20 likes. And I was just like, I'll just remove it from my feed, whatever. But I kept up with it. And then the same video that went viral on TikTok went viral on Instagram. And I got literally 12,000 followers from one video. From there, this is a time when Instagram in 2024 was pushing smaller creators, and the algorithm was really favoring you if you didn't have a bunch of followers, but the engagement on a post was really good. And so I took advantage of that, and when that went viral, I kept posting the videos. It was every other day I think I posted, which I still do today, is every other day I post. And then from there I had like 20,000, and then I went to 30,000, and a management company saw like a it wasn't Home Goods, it was Hobby Lobby, the Hobby Lobby video where I was like, this is what to buy here and this is what not to buy here. At that point, I think I had like maybe 40,000 followers, and a management company saw that video and reached out to me and were like, hey, we want to manage you. And I was like, okay, cool. Because I had never, like, I didn't even know anything about like Instagram managers or anything like that. And so, well, because I wrote TikTok Shop, honestly, the next goal was 2024 aesthetic Instagram pics. I definitely didn't do like aesthetic Instagram pics, but I did post on Insta a lot more in 2024. And today I have over 200,000 followers in 1 year, which is why it's just crazy that like I wrote down all of these goals, like collaborations got signed by a management company, effortless money, commissions on LTK, TikTok Shop. Now I have like 90,000 followers on TikTok, aesthetic self pics on Insta, 200,000 followers. And I've booked my biggest jobs in 2024. I've booked my biggest I've only ever booked collaborations. And now that it's 2025, I just booked my biggest collaboration with a brand. And so this is just basically, I wanted to tell the backstory of like how everything happened. I think a lot of people start following me and think I'm just like a creator, and it definitely wasn't like that. Like, I literally just became a creator this year. And when people ask me, what's your job? I always say I'm an interior designer, because I am. I booked my biggest clients this year. I do interior design every day. I have, you know, I'm constantly I always have clients, I always have projects, but now most of my income does come from being a creator on TikTok and Instagram and collabing with brands and sharing all my stuff on LTK. And so it was just literally a wild ride to see everything that happened, just from, I believe, writing my goals down and being really intentional about it. I think the goals were a huge part of it, but also if I could just share one piece of advice, also, like, if you're gonna do something, do it. If you see traction in something and you want it to like see more of that traction, keep doing it. Like, I know a lot of people say consistency on social media is important, and I definitely do think it is, but I also think it's like, okay, I'm like a commitment and a dedication. And I filmed myself in stores a lot, and it was really embarrassing at first, and now it's not. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm here to, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm making money. Like, too bad. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and how I found my niche on social media, how I got signed by a company, how I got signed by a management company, and how I started really building my brand there. My goals for 2025 are a little bit different from 2024. It's a lot more of like higher level things, like maybe doing an edit with a company, or let me see, oh, something I forgot to say, but something I also did is printed a picture for each one of my goals. The picture, oh my God, I forgot. The picture I put on like these pin boards back here, and I created a collage, a vision board essentially, but it was in my office the entire year, and I wanted one picture for each one of my goals to kind of remind me, hey, that's there. I also framed my goals, which I think was a big deal, to like see them every day. And I didn't even go over the home goals, but now I have to do that. Home, a roof. We got a new roof because we could afford it. Pergola, we got a new pergola because we could afford it. And I wrote entertaining spaces, which I'm still working on. I just didn't want to rush that. But and then landscaping, which we did start last year, but we're gonna continue this year in our backyard. So yes, the categories for my goals: personal, business, fun, and home. And that's a little bit about my goal setting for 2024. I am going to be setting my goals for 2025, and they are a bit more higher level, like maybe working with a brand on an edit, or you know, putting out some type of content where a media company could be like, oh wow, she would do really well, like hosting or something. So it's just stuff to really take me to the next level, but still consistent with what I'm doing. I also just wanted to say, if you're watching this, thanks for being here. I'm gonna make this channel a lot about sharing behind the scenes, my story, a little bit more personal, but still give you guys all the design tips, and I hope that helps.